Is an introduction really necessary for someone we all know so well?
What's the word, y'all? What's the good? What's good? What's good? It's your boy Gotti. Hey man, got a good show for y'all today. I'm trying to get it back right. I've been used to a little different, but it's time to get that at home setup back because now it's on. Yeah. That was before I don't want you afraid I'm allowed to switch. That was before that. I think it's crazy how the iPhones, not iPhones, but just Macs in general, you know, base all of your search history off of one thing, and it's just like everything is like ad driven these days. Like we have nothing left where we can just watch things. Like I remember at a time you can play games on your phone without Wi-Fi. You could do X, Y, and Z. You can't do nothing now. Like everything is ad based. Then if you search one thing on the web, let's just say you say I got a headache, or oh here's one better one because this one for me. Let's search. You've been searching up symptoms for something, and it tells you one thing. Now all I'm seeing is symptoms for IBS, irritable bowel movement syndrome. That's too much information. Like what if somebody sitting next to me and an ad come up? And you know they already be saying ads be related. It's kind of crazy. Like that's why we gotta read the cookie settings. Have y'all actually sat and read the cookie settings on websites when they tell you to log in and it be like, here's the cookie settings? Have y'all ever did that? I think we should start doing that, man. I think we should start doing that. What's up, man? Welcome to another episode with your boy Gotti. Let's go. I got a soundboard, so I'm just trying to figure out what we got here. Ooh, the boy Gotti in the building. Hey man, say man, we gonna get straight into today's show. This is like a Gotti Corners episode. This is not like a Gotti Corners episode. This is a Gotti Corners episode. It's been a while, but I have to get back on it, and I'm here now. I will give y'all a little snip. Moving forward, depending on how things go with timing and just depending on how my days run, I may bring back Jamel and start doing Gotti Corners from Jamel perspective. If you don't know who Jamel is a character of mine from about 2018. We got to go wake him up, but he's a character of mine that still exists. He's a news reporter that shouldn't have a job. He's one of those people that, lie on the resume to get the interview and then get in there and still get it. Then when you get to job, get back to the bullshit. That's Jamel. So y'all may be seeing Jamel soon. Stay tuned for that. But yeah, we're going to get straight into today's show. I got a lot of good things up on the docket. I'm not going to give y'all too much. Y'all stay tuned, stay locked, hit the subscribe button. If you have not subscribed already, you should go ahead and subscribe. So get down straight to all the business, man. Really, I just want to talk about this particular video that I came across on Twitter. I'm going to post it here so y'all can see it. So yeah, let's go ahead and take a look at this video together.
Yo!
Because it's pretty...
Yo, you need to get off the fucking train, bro.
Fuck off!
You need to get off
Fuck off! Fuck off! Fuck off! Fuck off! Fuck off!
You need to get off the fucking train, man. There's fucking kids in there, man. Right, let's go. What the fuck, man? Get off the fucking train, bro. Put up your hands. Put up your fucking
It's the fact. All right, so I want to know the first thing that you noticed when you seen that video. Was it why this man is naked? Was it why all of these other color attacking this man? Like, I had so many thoughts, but the initial thing for me was he's high on something. My initial thought was he's high on something. Now, from the sounds of this video, they're not nowhere in the US. Could be wrong, but from the sounds of it and the accents, we all know where this is taking place, right? But for somebody like me that have been in pretty much the top four, I see y'all been having a discussion of that are the largest cities in the most known, I guess, or attractions, states and cities of the US. I've been there. And with New York being one, this is the first thing that I think about. Because on the train, on the turnstiles, all in the subway period, you see so much on a daily basis. You know, when you're getting on public transportation, when you're getting on public transportation in a place that is that large that you're going to see something, to always be prepared to protect yourself. Like in New York, for instance, I know like an unannounced rule is to kind of always have headphones, right? And they want you to have headphones because you kind of tune people out if anybody maybe on something or just having an episode. Because I don't want to get into mental health because the spectrum is so large and I don't want to say anything wrong to offend anyone. But if you are prone to that, then you know that you just kind of keep your headphones to keep you tuned out from everything else, right? So initially, with him not having his clothes on, and on here for purposes of this, I'm gonna blur that out. But with him exposing everything, right? It's not unheard that we would see that in New York. You're gonna hear somebody gonna step up and they might say some foul stuff, put your clothes on, what's going on, this, that, and the third. But I don't think anyone would have escalated the situation where they would have attacked this man, right? Even if this was another race, right? I don't think we probably wouldn't even have said much because we have this underlying respect. And I don't want to make it like it's towards the other race, but I'm definitely going to say that I feel as though it's something that has been instilled, especially if you're from the deep South and you know what I'm talking about when I say the deep South, anything below Georgia. I'm not dissing South Carolina or North Carolina, but North Carolina, it's in your name, North Carolina. You're not South. But when I say the deep South, I'm talking about anything below Georgia. That's Georgia, Alabama, Mississippi, Louisiana, and so forth, however you want to pan it. And I ain't say the Midwest and all of that, but however you want to plan it, because that's another discussion for another day. But let me stay on track here. I just feel as though we have this underlying respect for not only people, but definitely people of the other race, given the history. Is that okay? No, because they don't have this mutual respect for us. But I want to go on record and say I believe that we were taught to have a respect for everyone. And not that I believe, I know that we were taught to have respect for everyone. But we definitely know, the pros and cons of the other race. And it brings up another video, but I'm gonna get to that in a second as well. I just want to say on this, I don't think that if that was a white man, that we would have, if the situation was reversed and there was black guys jumping a white man, I don't think it would have happened. That's number one. Number two, I mean, if it was a white person, I think that it would have been definitely explained that this person was having a episode. Someone would have been there sympathizing with them, trying to calm them down or ask them questions and talk to them and get to an understanding. I don't think it would have been an attack. And I'm not trying to make this a race thing, but I'm just pointing out the obvious here. When we see people that are dealing with mental health, I think that we need to try to diffuse the situation. And I'm not saying that none of us are experts or, we're here to skill and diffuse situations like that on a daily basis. I'm just saying in a major city, you have to be prepared for things like that. That's number one. It shouldn't be a culture shell shock. It shouldn't be a surprise that you're seeing someone's private front and behind area. We all deal with either a male or a female. So we know it's just like certain things I think we have to, in today's time, be more sensitive for people. We have to be able to help versus attack. And that's just dead on that because I can spin that in so many ways. But it reminds me of another video that I've seen. I'm not going to share it. It's from TikTok. But if you've seen it, then you know what I'm talking about. It was a guy did like a joke on a white police officer, and he was just like, yo, you fine as hell, let me get your number. I mean, ain't nothing wrong with that. That's still a regular pickup line, right? But it was to a white woman. So when I immediately saw it, the first thing in my mind, because she yelled out how he came and said something inappropriate to her. So he's asking, what did I say that was inappropriate to you? And she's like, what did you say? What did you say? And he repeated what he said. Yo, you find yourself, let me get your number, whatever the case may be. And she's like, that's inappropriate. The first thing I could think of was, boy, don't whistle to a white woman. Emmett Till. So I just think that it's a shame that we have to wear the target on our back, and we have to be the ones consciously aware. But I would like to say, to another point that I made about it being instilled in us and, having an underlying respect for the white man because of what was taught and how the elders were like, respect the white man. Yes, sir. Yes, master. This, that, and the third, because of slavery and the things that we've come from. And that's really just a curse put upon, the black community. But it just leads me into my next topic. I think Gen Z and millennials are that's that group of, because you have the baby boomers and so on and so forth. I don't want to name them because I don't want to say anything wrong. But when it comes to Gen Z and millennials are generally born between 1981 and 1996. Gen Z is generally born between 97 and 2012. And when I'm speaking, I don't really know that many kids Gen Z because I was growing up through the time of 2012. Like I was still I ain't gonna say a jit. I was going through my younger years to teenage crossover years from the time of early 2000s to 2012. Now I do have a cousin that's born in 2010, so I can kind of speak a little bit, but I would say Gen Z and millennials definitely, well, millennials and Gen Z, because millennials came first. Let me put it in order. Millennials and Gen Z, I would definitely say I believe that bracket of people that we don't have that respect. We don't have that, and I'm not gonna say respect because you respect everyone once you walk out of your home. You should respect everyone from the trash man to the CEO. You should respect anybody on the job, in public, the stores, fast food chain, whatever you do. Once you leave your house, you should show some form of respect. But when I say respect wise, I mean all of that bowing down and things that, elders that are still in their 80s and 90s that are living in, God bless the ones that are in their hundreds from what they were accustomed to. And even some that are still in their early 80s, late 70s, early 70s. But I will say I start to see a switch when it comes to those babies. When it comes to that age group that are in their 70s. When it comes to around their age, they kind of was fed up with the white man. So I wouldn't say they wasn't around, but they came their time period was right after all of that, if that makes sense. So they kind of was the first ones jumping out the gate where they can say something back and fight back, if that makes sense. But when it comes to back on topic, because I don't want to talk about the different age brackets because I don't want to confuse anything. But back to millennials and Gen Z, I feel like we're that age group that is like fuck around and find out. And it's not even just on a shout out to Bob looking at me over here in this corner. It's not even about just an age thing. Shout out to Bob. Rest in peace, Bob. It's not even about, and I said it's not even about an age thing. I mean, it's not about a race thing. Just about race. I think it boils down to everything. Like the statistics that they just put out about, the job market for millennials and Gen Z. Well, they really was speaking on millennials, but you gotta take. Let's just really all the way up until 2000. We should be millennials, because Gen Z, it kind of broadens the spectrum to 2012, and a lot of us was at a certain age by 2012, but we wasn't considered, really kids, like especially those early 90 babies and late 80 babies that are still falling under the millennial bracket. But for what it is, statistics wise, I just want to point out that, I really feel like that, beyond race, it's that age group that's really like fuck around and find out. Like even they said the rate of jobs outside of college now, just a lot of things. And I think our generation is really tired. I think that we are not going to go for any type of BS. We are quick to leave a job. We are quick to apply for something else. I don't think we are accustomed to the ways that a lot of our elders or parents were, where it's like, you get on the job and you stay for 20 to 30 plus years. Don't get me wrong. If you get into certain careers and you know that it's something longevity that can help you, that's fine. But a lot of these times when it comes to careers, you start out with nothing. So if you don't have that support system, sometimes you don't even have it to even help you get over that hump to get deep within a company. But that's neither here nor there. But I'm just saying, making my point as to, I just don't think this generation is, going for anything. And I think we're proud of who we are. Like, even when it comes to job applications, I know, like Funny Marco, I've seen a couple of people do this. I've even thought about doing it from time to time. And honestly, I probably have put it on a couple of applications just to see. Like, I know Funny Marco was a person, that was talking about how he will put that he's white on all of his job applications just to get the call back. And then when he get there, they will realize that, hey, you're not white, this, that, and the third. But I think it's very telling, when you have to do things like that to, get a job or, try to go for something. But I think that we are now finally all standing into everything that we are, and even more now than ever. Definitely shout out to everyone that paved the way for us. And there's so many world leaders that have done so much for us. And there's people that still continue to fight for us. But when it comes to millennials and Gen Z, once we do finally grow up, because a lot of us, we ain't woke up that we the new adults, but we really are the new adults when the age speak and on paper speaks. But when we really wake up, I don't think we would have a problem in the future when it comes to that. I think we would definitely be the ones to stand up and fight back. Now, hopefully this don't come back to bite me in the ass years down the line. But I want to say, Gen Z and millennials, I definitely think that in that aspect of that department, and not, like I said, not just including race, with so many other things. And if you follow me, you know what I'm saying. I think that we've done a pretty good job, and we're going to continue to do a pretty good job when it comes to things like that. So I don't think that's something we have to worry about. But man, we're going to move on to the next thing, staying on this Black entertainment television. We're going to slide over to BET. All right, man. So last week, y'all was going crazy because there were several reports about BET, indefinitely doing away with the BET Awards and Soul Train Awards. But then, of course, you guys hear things and report it wrong. It was the BET Hip Hop Awards and Soul Train Awards, and they was not done away with. They were put on pause. So it's been a suspension. According to the network, all this is alleged news on Gotti Station. According to, several reports and the network, they decided that they have to now. The CEO, Scott Mills, spoke out, and this is what he said, quote, confirmed the news in an interview with Billboard saying, so far, We have suspended the Soul Train Hip Hop Awards shows, but we have a team that is actively thinking about where those award shows might best live. As the media climate continues to evolve, they aren't gone. And we'll also still have the NAACP. I'm sorry, that's another ad popping up. It threw off where I was at. The NA. Jesus, I hate when that happens. NAACP. The Image Awards and the Stellar Awards. NAACP Image Awards and the Stellar Awards will still take place. So, for everybody that was reporting it, BET Awards will still be here. BET Hip Hop Awards has been suspended. If you know the difference, remember BET Hip Hop Awards is where Tip got arrested, before he went and did his time. That was the BET Hip Hop Awards. That's typically filmed in Atlanta. The Soul Train Awards, John Vogue, all these other people, you know what the Soul Train Awards are. That's a category for more so of like the R&B singers, your Jacquees, your Giveons, your SZAs, your Summer Walkers, these things, That's more so what that should be subjected around because that is the cultural history behind it. But I'm going to say my opinion on why I think this shit is not working. We've lost the magic. It's not about the media changing, and it is about the media changing because I just told y'all in the last video, remember I had the progress report playing in the background. Herb was the guest, and I was like, I wasn't even playing that for the intentions of that. I was just saying, how media is in a bad place. And I was like, it's changing, but it's not in a good place. And this is where I think the problem came in with the award shows, and not even just BET, because I'm hearing a lot about ratings and things now. So everyone wants to go into, and I hate how this is moving. My arm's been on this desk. Hopefully it's not too shaky once I get to editing. But when it comes to talking about, everything is just cable, period. I think each network has decided to go into streaming, or they now have an app, or like for instance, Bravo has Peacock, BET has BET Plus, Hulu has Paramount and all these other things that are paired into it from different networks where they're producing their stuff. Then you still have HBO Max. HBO Max, I remember, was probably like one of the first streaming ones that was like, okay, I think they came out and they was like crushing it. Then the other ones started to follow suit. But HBO Max is always one of those premium channels. So it only made sense for them to have, an app. But I think that the media has changed when it comes to, yes, sitting home and watching it, because you got to think when it came to the BET Awards from my age group, and that's on paper is Gen Z, but I'm a millennial. On paper, we used to sit down as a family, my household. And, my cousins, we'd be to call them, other cousins, auntie, they call my mom. Everybody sitting down watching the BET Awards pre-show. We're excited for these things. The summer bash, they used to come on. Like, all of these things we used to be excited for. 106 in Park was like a thing you rushed home to watch. If you didn't, you had it recorded. You would catch the episode. You knew your favorite artist would be showing up this week. Just never know what it would be. It was like a time that we appreciated so much more because technology was simpler. Now, with time, technology is definitely supposed to change, but it's like, are we creating technology to basically erase the human existence? And when I say that, of course, to procreate and this, that, and the third, technology, blah, 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 whatever you want to say, you need humans, I'm just going to keep the world going, this, that, and the third. But what I'm saying is a lot of jobs, places have been taken over by machines. And it's only going to get worse as time goes on. It's not like it's going to go back to what it was, or we're going to be watching dinosaur back TVs and flat screens are going to disappear. Like, everything evolves. But what I think the problem is with people like BET, it's not about us rushing home to watch it. It's not about us watching it as a family, because even now in my grown ass adult age, I don't live with my parents, or I don't live with my mom, I don't live with dad or grandma. But you know what? those people are still watching the cable network. I'm still watching it once it comes down social media clips. I'm still watching it once it's posted onto these streaming platforms the next day. I'm still watching it when it's on YouTube. I'm still watching it when y'all post it on y'all social media on TikTok. All of these on X, y'all put it on all of these places, but y'all don't know how to capitalize off of streaming. The same way these artists, and it was Nicki, it was Chris Brown, it was a couple other people, they all was fighting for streaming. It was multiple people, artists at a time, that was fighting for the streaming to count because they saw technology changing. For instance, we used to be able to purchase these things. People used to stand in line for these things. People used to stand in line for stuff like this. This is a disc. Not a disc, like this, a disc. Disc. This is a disc. A two-way disc where you can play songs off of here on a spinner. Remember they used to give you a photo, a copy, you know, because there's the one we really want to see. Remember this? Remember this? And you can put a calendar on your wall. You in jail, you know, you buy the CD and you take the calendar. Everything has changed. When artists started to fight for streaming, you don't think that TV, it was a good time for you to start thinking about how to incorporate everything as one so that numbers can remain? Because we sit here and we act like numbers is not important. But numbers is definitely important, and that's going to show because y'all are canceling shows left and right because the numbers is not matching. Also, realize how people are still posting when Destiny's Child came on there and gave, Terrence Howard, two of the others, I know who they are, I just don't want to mess up names. Basically, Destiny's Child came on there and did the lap dance. That video still goes viral today on the BET Awards. Monique hosting the BET Awards still goes viral to this day. We can go to some earlier ones if y'all want to put it in like a little bit more of the recent years. I would say all of the award shows until they started posting stuff about Nicki. And I don't want y'all to say it's biased, but I want you to pay attention to the numbers the numbers from that time period. I want you to really go, and if you care about knowing the truth, because for one, I'm a journalist, so I'm a fact check first before I speak. But all of this is alleged news on Gotti Station. Everything that has been used in this video is for it can be used under the, so any YouTube guys out there, I thank you. But yeah, you know, I just feel like, you know, those viral moments, we stop having those people on the shows. Now, Beyonce, Nicki, Wayne, Drake, Thug, Tip, Migos, DJ Khaled, Ross. I'm just trying to think of people that really like push the BET, you know what I'm saying? Like push the award shows when it came to it being like a cultural movement. Lil Kim, Diddy. I don't want to leave out people because I don't want to miss anybody's names. But you know what I'm saying. The powerful hitters in this industry, right? We got to stop being dumb. We got to stop. Let's stop playing popcorn. Let's just be honest. And this is no diss. But people like let me just say this. If they didn't come from this era, if they ain't never had a CD, if they ain't never had a real culture impact, if they ain't never really showed out on Billboard, and I don't even want to go there because that can go left. But I want to point out the fact of the matter that I'm trying to make. And the fact is, once these people stop showing up to award shows, y'all start giving them ownership into these companies. Y'all start giving them, okay, well, they probably don't want to perform no more, so let me get them something on a leadership board, or with the Grammys. Let me get this person. Da da da. Yes. Since we've known these shows to be around, they have definitely had execs. They have definitely had people on the board. But I think the problem is now we're so focused on beefs. If we can't get somebody to sign to this label, we can't get them to sign to here, then they're considered an enemy to us. So then you have certain, I guess you can say, oppositions that are going and filling these positions that are blocking certain artists from coming out. Like even with the tweet about Nicki, that was clearly an agenda around the hate train time when the whole thing with Remy and all of the stuff was swirling with Cardi on the surge and, everything that was going on around that time, for that tweet to come out, it just goes to show that somebody was on the board that had problems, because for someone to even think that they can, for that editor or that intern or that journalist to even think that it was okay to say that, clearly they hadn't been around to look at numbers. They hadn't been around to see what and the artists give to the show, because when it comes to these things, we have to think give and pull and give and take. You have to something has to be benefited from you. There's a million artists out here. Nicki is not the only artist they could have, booked or whatever the case may be, but they saw year after year what she brought. They saw year after year how she dominated the charts. But as the torch was passed on, you get new people coming in the building. You get people that come in and they don't respect the people that have who have laid the foundation down before them. They run with what's hot on social media now. So in doing that, I think BT burnt a lot of bridges, and it has a lot to do with more than just Nicki, because Wayne said that, Young Money wouldn't, support the network any further, but Wayne has since done shows, and I believe Drake has as well. But I'm just saying, like, that was a major dip in the viewership. That was before we wasn't watching traditional cable. So I think it's a lot of factors. I just think that we have to be careful with putting artists on the boards of these companies and letting them get their egos and their feelings involved, where it gets to a point that it fucks it up. BT. 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 Wish you well. But hey, I'm with BT. I'm just saying that BT that's not even nothing bad talking them. That's just me just being completely honest though, y'all. For that's just me being completely honest of what I've seen. And you just gotta be completely honest with the numbers when it comes down to a lot of things. You have to analytically, the numbers matter. As much as we want to say it don't, the numbers matter. But, needless to say, it's not the BET Awards, so it's not the biggest culture night. It's the Hip Hop Awards that's usually filmed in Atlanta, and the Soul Train Awards. Now, switching over to the Soul Train Awards, I do feel like there are many R&B artists out here, but because we live in a climate where I wouldn't say that's not people first choice, because there's you could probably split it down the middle where half the people would say they prefer R&B over hip hop, or R&B over pop, or R&B over, rock, or whatever the case may be. But I feel as though it's not, the funding is not there for it. The push for it is not there. So when it comes to things like Soul Train, we kind of knew that was going to happen, right? Who's even the official host for the Soul Train Awards? The last Soul Train Awards I watched was when Escape got the Lady of Soul Awards. Oh, that's so ghetto, the water bottles. The last time I watched is when Escape, she presented to your boy Kev Gotti. When Escape got the Lady of Soul Award, and they all went on there. And that's been about, 3 years at this point? So I wasn't too surprised about that, but I heard there was a lot of rumblings about that. So I just want to touch on that and give y'all an update that it hasn't been taken away, which is good because the Soul Train holds a lot of nostalgia for us. And I do think that R&B can get back to where it needs to be once the industry figure out a lot of things that it needs to figure out. So, shout out to BET. I think that it's a smart move though, instead of letting things suffer, from a business side and it looks bad and on paper and it actually comes down to them having to actually cancel these things indefinitely. I think that they did a good move by, just trying to restructure the show and figure out what their next move is. So shout out to BT. We're staying tuned and, moving on into the next topic, man, we're going to get into Nicki briefly. I know we just spoke about Nicki. I try to be conscious when I come on here and speak about Nicki because there's a million of us. And when I say a million of us, there's a million barbs. So I know a lot of people defend her enough, but I oftentimes like to give my opinion when I think things have gotten a little bit out of hand, or I think that it needs some, it needs some attention from somebody like me that are going to just, lay it out unbiased, true, but I'm still a fan. So, it'll touch the people that it need to touch. And that's this whole station head fiasco. For a while now, there's been a lot of weird stuff going on with Station Head. If you don't know, Nicki Minaj has just put out that she want all of us to cancel our subscription and delete the Station Head app. So you know what? That's what I did, because even if you go on my Station Head, it was following one person. I think one person was following me. The one person I was following was Nicki, and then the other person that was following me back was another bar, probably following me off of a comment I said in the chat or something funny, doing one of the shows. I didn't use Station Head for anything else. I did notice that they had this station called Barb's Channel or something like that, where it was syndicated. And if you don't know what syndicated means, syndicated is, a form that's in radio where you just look up the definition of syndicate, or what syndicated mean and what it means to be syndicated and to have a syndication for a show. So that channel played 24/7. I don't know who was running it. I thought that it was Pedro, because he do a lot of things like that for Nicki. But once, the shows were in and I know Bigfoot and certain songs would come on, I was like, anybody close to Nicki around the situation wouldn't be messy or sticky like that, because if you really know the inside, that they don't really give a fuck. Like, if Nicki cared about playing Bigfoot and songs like that, it would be played every show. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like, that was in that moment, we enjoyed it, and it's there for the fans. So I knew that it was something there with that, but I didn't really stay on the app other than that unless I got a notification, and I would get notifications late. I would get notifications quicker when Nicki would send them on Instagram in our little thread and tell us to come to Station Head. You know what I'm saying? And by that time, she's probably already on 15, 20 minutes because she had to go on there, set up, then come and post the link on Instagram. So we would get the notifications for that late anyway. And then I started to get kicked out of the station, but I wouldn't always, and just be honest, we should be in the chat interacting, but a lot of us, it's enough of y'all that can handle that. The real ones that been around, we just support everything she do. I'm always in the background. I'm a real one. I don't need the attention. I don't need the, Barb Twitter fan page with 1,000 followers, 1,000,000 followers. I don't need the Nicki follow. I'ma still ride, and I know that one day we will touch and we will connect, because the real gonna recognize real, and that's just that. So it'll say Nicki sent a comment or something. I got screenshots. If I attach them to this video, you'll see them here. If I don't, I don't. But I got plenty of screenshots when I would be off of the app, right? I'll be scrolling. Let's just say I'm scrolling on Twitter. I'll be scrolling on Twitter and it'll be Nicki sent you a comment or something, or Nicki sent the chat or something. It will remove me from Nicki's room and put me into a separate room with maybe 30 or 40 other people that it seemed like it snatched out of the thing. So I started to notice that it would do it every show. And I'm like, okay, the first two times I'm like, okay, I Nicki is real. Nicki is an interesting person. And if you're a fan of Nicki, and I'm sure people around that have been around Nicki can tell, Nicki, just like BLB said, very animated person. I think a lot of y'all took that out of context, took that out of context and tried to act like he was throwing her some type of diss or something, but it's the truth. So with that being said, I'm like, okay, you know, I do be in the comments. I do be riding for Nicki. I've been riding her for years. So like I said, the real gonna meet one day. So I'm thinking like that. I'm like, oh, she kind of scouting out the bars that, scouting out the bars that are been showing love and that's saying real shit in the comments or whatever the case may be. Or this may be a game we playing because you play Nicki trivia and all this other stuff. I would rush to the comment and it would kick me out. And then we'll all be in the chat like, what is this? What is this? I'm just confused. But then you will see like that it was other people in there previously. Like it may have happened a different show. So then that's when I'm starting to realize that it was happening every show, but it was putting us into different rooms. So imagine if it was grabbing 30 and 40. Let's just say that's the first thing. That's the first number I saw. It was like 30 or 40 of us. Let's just say it's just grabbing that group and putting it in one room. And then you're doing that, but you're doing it for so many other rooms. If you follow what I'm saying? Like, let's just say you have 10 rooms and you're taking 30 people and putting them in 10 different rooms, exiting them from the station head. And that's just a rough number. That affects the person's live. That affects the person's syndicated show that's playing of how many listeners is actually listening, right? You know that. And then once you take us out, it's not like it was taking us out and the station was still playing. It was taking us out completely, removing us from another room. If it's a person like me and I'm at work or something and I'm not scrolling on Twitter and the phone is in my pocket, it take me out of there. 9 times out of 10, I can't go back in my pocket. Or even if I'm at school, or I'm not in school, but like think about the people that's in school or, whatever the case may be, and the phone is in their pocket, they're working out, whatever the case is, we're not gonna click back into that live. We're not gonna back and click into that station because we're doing something. And a lot of people are not gonna look at it like I looked at it and kind of sit back and think what the f is really going on until they see other people speak out about it or until Nicki directly say something about it. So I think it's a lot of weird shit that goes on behind the scenes with her. And I think for so many reasons, I don't think it's just one reason. I don't think it's because a rap beef with a female. I don't think it's so many reasons and it's so many things. And, that's Nicki's story to tell. And I think that you pick up what she's putting down if you got some type of common sense or some type of knowledge about this industry and the things that they do and how they operate. You know that, it's some weird shit going on behind the scenes. And I'm going to just leave that at that. But shout out to Nicki. And I think that once Nicki speak out, that no artist or no person of a certain stature, no matter who you're affiliated to, should be inserting themselves into anything or speaking about anything that they don't really know what truly is the focal point, right? Like, we truly don't know what her real motive is behind the scenes. We know that she's speaking out about these injustices towards her, but we don't know what the true motive is behind the scenes. So all you can do is support your favorite artists in moments like this and mind your business and stop trying to formulate opinions, because a lot of the bars sit on Twitter too and formulate opinions and just say shit that just feeds into the stupidity of the others. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it just sounds just as dumb. So I just think sometimes we just have to, if we don't know what we're really talking about, let's not speak about it at all. And lastly, shout out to Des Bryant. That was the real thing that you did, man, by coming back on Twitter and apologizing to Nicki. A lot of people talking about you let her bully into doing it, this, that, and the third, whatever the case may be. I'm gonna just be honest with you, bro. When I seen you said say, the first thing you said was say. Your tweet said it was like very, very say. That was very disrespectful. Like, I honestly felt like, and I typed something and I deleted it because it was like, what my comment gonna do adding to the negativity? But I was gonna be one of those people that was in your comments attacking you too, because that was highly disrespectful. And especially when this woman is speaking about the things she's speaking about, like the context with it. I don't give a fuck who he's affiliated with, but for you to come on there and apologize, bro, that was real as hell. I have nothing ill towards you or nothing wrong to say about you, because you said what you said and you came to apologize, and that's all you can do as a man. We get stuck up in what somebody did or how long ago they did this, or, it's affecting me this, or I'm mad about this. But once you apologize, bro, you can either choose to move on. You, the person that's apologizing, you can choose to move on or live in that. But once you apologize, you should be moving on. Now, once you know that you genuinely apologize to the next person, regardless of how they take it, regardless of how they drag it, regardless of what fan is saying, this, that, and the third, you did what you needed to do. God is going to bless you. You will find your eternal peace. You will find peace within yourself because you did what you were supposed to do. You decided to wake up and make yourself a better person the next day. You don't sit and you don't dwell things out for a week. And this is not just about Des Bryant. This message is important for anybody. You don't sit and you don't be the same nasty, negative person you was the day before. You wake up the next day and you try to be better. I don't give a fuck how bad you was. I don't give a fuck if you murdered somebody yesterday. Let me not say that. I can't say that. I don't give if you off somebody yesterday. You wake up today and you repent to God and you deal with that and you deal with your consequences in the situation that you in and you move forward with your life. Let's stop letting things affect us that we have apologized, discussed, and moved on from. And if people don't want to accept that, there's nothing that we can do. Let's stop kissing ass. Let's put belts to our own ass and reach our own goals and do what we got to do for us. And that's not just about this dead, but that goes for anything and everyone that has been feeling a moment of, I'm stuck. I don't know how to move forward. I don't know I don't know if I need to go left or right. I don't know if I need to apply this job. Whatever the case may be, bro. All you can do is wake up every day and try to be a better person and a better version of you. You can't do anything more. And that's all I got to say on that. Next up. These fan pages, bro. These fan pages are killing the blogs. And this kind of doubles back to some topics a few moments ago that I was speaking about with BET. These fan pages are killing the blogs because the accreditation? Put it like this. The blogs are killing. It's how I just go from, I was about to start preaching to y'all and I really felt it, but I had to dial it back. Y'all can get it one day, but you know, it just had to give me the moment of that. But I was about to really let y'all have it, but I had to dial it back. But no, the blogs are killing, fan pages are killing the blogs because it's taking away the credibility from these blogs and these journalists and these media outlets because you have these fan pages that are of such large fandoms like Cardi B, Nicki, Beyonce, Rihanna, Taylor Swift, Chris Brown, Wayne, Drake, Kendrick. Like all of these people, they have fan bases, right? They have large fan bases. And so, you know, they create fan pages, right? And these fan pages start to be the spokesperson for said artist. And when that takes place, it makes it hard for blogs to actually report on said artists because it then becomes, oh, everything they say is untrue, or you only reporting on negative stuff, or you only posting when they're into this or they're into that. When it comes to a blog, the blogs have to be able to pick and choose what they report on, but you also got to know what type of blog you're dealing with. Some blogs, they don't have no filter. You may find a friendly vlog that's friendly to you because they like you or they have respect for you, which I don't think it should be that way. I think if you're going to report the news on some, you should report it on all. But I think that most importantly, like I said, the fan pages are killing the blogs because y'all create these pages and they become such large platforms and you guys are not credible sources, but you spew out lies and spew out stuff and you take what your favorite artist is saying and you kind of detail a story up around it, or, you know, like I say, you just now full-fledged promoting them on there. And so when it comes to a credibility of a blog or sitting down with a radio station or this, that, and the third, the excitement is gone because they sitting down with y'all, they popping up a podcast mic and they're having a conversation with y'all, which is cool because as the fans, you should have that direct touch with your artist. But I still want artists to come into the radio station 20 years from now, to hell, 10 years from now, because it's fading. And it still be a situation where we can enjoy and they're meeting with a media personality who's actually doing the homework and actually doing the research to really want to know what's going on and to really help promote their music versus everything just being so digitalized and everybody having a platform and everybody having a soapbox. You know, like I say, oftentimes I get up on here and do this, but this is essentially my outlet from the things that I can't talk about in trained media, for the things that I can't speak about. Oh, I don't have, an hour, 2 hours, or however long I want to run a video to speak about it. I'm on a cut schedule where I'm reading a script anywhere from a 3-minute segment to a 5-minute segment, or I may have to get an ad out within 30 seconds to a minute. You know what I'm saying? So this is my outlet. This is where I come and I can further express myself, and I can also push myself and create an actor's reel, create a media reel, create a talent reel, period, by just off of my content and reporting on the news of the things of the way that I do it. So I just think that, it's really fucking it up. And I think one stream in particular, he said it, and after that, everybody started doing it. But hey, man, it's been another video. It's your boy Gotti. I'm actually going live on TikTok. I have these 3 CDs. Over the course of the next 3 days, I will be playing. I think I'm going to start out with Lil Kim. Then I'm going to play this Bow Wow CD. And then I'm going to play some Anita Baker CD. Now, you may ask, you got Anita Baker, Bow Wow, and Kim. This is just what I pulled up out the box. I closed my eyes and I pulled 3 CDs and I got these. So I will be streaming these live on TikTok. So we'll be streaming probably Lil Kim tonight, first up. The Hardcore album. I almost said mixtape. I remember she was rolling her mixtape at the time. She was beefing with Nicki. Hardcore mixtape coming out with the black font, But nah, this is the original. This is the Hardcore, her debut album, Lil Kim. We'll be promoting this on TikTok live tonight around 2 a.m. I always do a late show. I just came up with this thing to start playing the CDs and the vinyls. Typically, I would just stream my own set of music, but I noticed that I started to get a lot of comments and people want to, request songs. So with this, I'm going to start playing a little bit of, I guess you can say, vintage music up into today's music with the CDs that I have. And then, as a growing thing, we would change and do stuff like that. Coming up this week on YouTube, you can expect videos. I'm probably going to wait another 2 weeks or about 3 weeks possibly before I start to put out any of the Kev Gotti promo tour shows out. And with that being said, the first one that I know that it will be out is going to be Atlanta. As far as everything else, you may not get all of the cities because some stuff we want to keep for the actual pilot. That is a plug that I'm telling you. That is a plug that I am telling you. That is a plug. That is a plug. That is a plug. Yes, your boy is shooting the pilot. Your boy is shooting the pilot. Your boy is shooting a pilot. I know I said you gotta follow me and you gotta, pick up what I was putting down, and I wasn't gonna tell too much and say this, that, and the third. But yeah, secrets out the bag. Yo, I love the soundboard. It seems like it's delayed. I'm gonna see back on the video playback, but yeah, man. So I probably won't put everything out because for the purposes of keeping some of that. Raleigh, North Carolina. I will be there 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 in 9 days. That is Thursday, August the 21st. I know I have pushed you guys back twice. But hey, it just a lot of other things have played out, and y'all will see that, and I'm not gonna share any more further details about that. But Riley, it is your time. Things have changed. I will not be doing the mass 7-on-7 anymore. I will not be doing the panel discussion anymore. Sorry to you guys. I'm actually going to be interviewing someone that is a program coordinator over the magnet department at an elementary school in Raleigh, North Carolina. This person was my acting coach. He was my teacher at one point in time at a middle school. He's now the program coordinator of an elementary magnet school in Raleigh, North Carolina. Sorry, I'm a little still kind of early. I will be interviewing him. We decided to go. We're going another direction for the landscape of the show because it is a pilot. So certain things got to take place. With that being said, I will be doing that on Thursday when I arrive in Raleigh, North Carolina. I will be there throughout the rest of the weekend. So what I am thinking about doing is still doing a space and getting something to go along with the footage that I'm going to include on YouTube from what I already have with like the Atlanta stop and, you know, the New York thing. I think I may do something small in Raleigh. So if you're watching this video, you're truly a supporter of me and we're at 55 minutes of this video and you're in Raleigh and you was any of those people that was on the board that was supposed to be on the panel, if I discussed anything with you about the 7-on-7, this is an open invitation for you to come to the event in Raleigh. I will have address and locations. I'm not gonna prep you guys on anything like that. I will send all of that out on Friday because I have that interview on Thursday. I will be there. The date will not be changing. So if your calendar cannot fit, I totally understand. It's last minute. I've had to reschedule it twice. But this is a message for Raleigh, North Carolina. I will not be sharing it to social media. You have to get to this part of the video. I have to get to a point where people are actually starting to support me and I'm not just giving away, you know, free stuff. This is nothing you have to pay for. Even if you don't even want to be a part of it, you just want to come sit, see, and, you know, get the experience or just even hang out with me because it's a full circle moment. I'm hanging out with a lot of people that I went to high school with and, you know, kind of basically essentially not grew up because I didn't grow up there. Plug. But you know that I spent a lot of time with and you know important years of my life was spent there. So this is an open invitation, man. I just want to say shout out to y'all. And if you're at this point of the video, then I know you're really rocking me, you're supporting me. And this is an open invitation. Hit me up on my Instagram, Kev Gotti, right here. Or if you got my number, you can text me or you can leave a comment here, like whatever the case may be. Let me know and hey, you all in. If you are any type of rapper, artist, or whatever the case may be, chef, barber, whatever it may be, and you want to come, just let me know. And like I say, I'll build up a script, give you address and all the interview questions and everything by Friday. That is what I have for you guys today. And I want to touch on one last subject while we on this Raleigh topic. One more subject before we on this Raleigh. So while we on this Raleigh topic, man. I know at the beginning of the show, I was playing Take It Off, which is by Believe, a song by Believe. If you don't know who Believe is, it's my brother. You know, we at odds right well, he's at odds with me right now. I said something to him that I probably could have, I think he took in a different tone, but it was just, we both Libras, and it is what it is. It's a song, Take It Off, by him, featuring Toosii. We recorded this song, during the hype of COVID. And Believe was at a point in where he was trying to, you know, do some things with his music. And I'm like, yo, the hottest person up is going to be Toosii. And after that, Toosii went on an unexplainable run. I just want to say shout out to Toosii. Toosii is a friend of mine. I consider him a brother. We don't have a relationship where we're talking every single day, where we, you know, texting and calling each other, but he's grown as hell. I'm grown as hell. He got 2 kids now, so things definitely are different. But I just want to come and say this, man. I don't play by my friends. And Toosii is somebody that I consider a friend. And I've seen some shit online that really pissed me off and disturbed me. And it's been going on for quite some time. And I'm not even going to attach the video here, but the most recent thing that I've seen was a guy on Instagram. I don't even know how it came into my feed because I don't follow that many people from Raleigh, but I don't play by my motherfucking friends, man. And I don't like that y'all have been coming at him sideways, whether he's speaking out on some shit that a female be done said, a fan or somebody that's upset, or he hanging out with people that is a part of LGBTQ, or, you know, it comes to the most recent thing, bro. Y'all niggas talking about he ain't from no hood and he lying in his music. Let me say this, bro. Nothing about motherfucking Raleigh, North Carolina, my nigga. Nothing about Raleigh, North Carolina. Nothing. Nothing gave not a fuck thing. So let me say this. I'm from the fucking South. If you don't know, the roots is from New Orleans. We lived in Mobile. From Mobile, we was all up and through Atlanta, then Raleigh. You feel what I'm saying? So I'm from the bottom. Mobile live on a port of water. If you're familiar with New Orleans, you know what New Orleans is. I ain't say Birmingham, I ain't say Troy, I ain't say Montgomery, I said Mobile. Look it up on a map and see where it's located. I know what it means to come from the trenches. Your city ain't never been number 1 and number 2 on the murder capital list. And that's Mobile and New Orleans that been at the top. And it comes to North Carolina, bro, that was an upper life. Y'all niggas had it good. The only thing that was close to looking remotely like a hood was over there by DTLR. And y'all consider that Raleigh North. But if I can remember correctly, y'all had all of these neighborhood groups, I would say. I'm not going to say the other word. Y'all had all these neighborhood groups in, this street and this block and that block. And a lot of that took place on Buffalo Road in New Hope, in Capital, in Mini City. Look it up. And I'm talking about the people around my age. I'm talking about anybody from the age of 30 to the age of fucking 25. That bracket right there, class of 2014 onto class of 2018, that core group, that's who ran Raleigh. And I can say that with confidence because that's when social media was on the rise. That's when Facebook became the popular Facebook. That's when Twitter was still climbing. That's when we had the old Instagrams. Now, I'm not from Raleigh, so I can't speak on what hood is this, that, and the third. But the fact that y'all pulled up to Top of the Ponds and tried to say, oh, this is not the hood, this, that, and the third. Let me say this. Shout out to you, my boy, because it was a very smart move on your behalf because you definitely gonna get the people talking. You're definitely gonna get the haters that still live around or, they hit Toosii up for a feature and couldn't get one, or they didn't have the bread, or they didn't know how to properly hit up an artist who has been on BET, who's been to the VMAs, who's been on all these award shows, who's signed to a real label, been on tour with Rod Wave, had pretty much his own tour, theater tour. It seems as though it's the hate, but shout out to the guy that did it because it was a smart move on your behalf because when I clicked on your page to really get some more information, I realized that you're an artist yourself. So it's great promotion for you. I see that you and Toosii end up chopping it up. He pulled up on you. I'm not here to tell his story, but Top of the Ponds, that's when niggas felt like they had accomplished something in life. That was a stepping stone. That was an upper coming from what motherfuckers came from. Especially a nigga like me. I didn't live in Top of the Ponds. I live in Charleston Park, right next to it. It's a church separating the two. I know what Top of the Ponds is. But you also know what Cobblestone and Valley Stream is? Do you know what's in front of that? Yeah, it's $200,000 to $300,000 of homes in Valley Stream. But what's different between y'all talking about Raleigh North versus some shit on New Hope and Buffalo? Ain't Pool Road right there? It really don't matter about the location. The point that I'm trying to make is y'all don't be knowing people real motherfucking stories. Y'all know what y'all get up online and see or if you've been around, you know what stories people are going to tell you. The raising his nieces and nephews is very fucking much true. The Vance, I'm not here to, I don't got to clear that shit up. Toosii can do that if he wanted to do it. But I'm going to just say I was around, my nigga, and I ain't got no motherfucking rap cap in my goddamn rap. I done sat outside that house at Top of the Pines. We done sat in the car for 3-4 hours talking about how he was going to be, what the fuck he was going to be. So nobody is going to diss him. I don't give a fuck if you like his music or not. And let me just give a little secret. Your favorite artist ain't popping all on Percocets like you out here doing, crashing out. And this is not towards anybody. I'm speaking in general. Your favorite artist ain't out here toting all of these straps like you rapping about. He may have them, but he ain't toting them. You got to understand the entertainment business. You got to understand how when you get over into a certain avenue of this lane, how things change. You got to understand when you shoot a video and you give a vision, you're going to have extras that are in the video. Because I know some people was talking about the Red Lights video from years ago. Oh, he had actors and this, that, and the third in the video. You goddamn right I'm going to do a casting call if I'm going to finna goddamn do a video in Raleigh. I don't want to link with y'all. I don't know what y'all on. I don't know if y'all trying to... I don't know what y'all trying to do to me. Y'all didn't like me when I was coming up. Me and this nigga Toosii used to be sitting on the football field like multiple niggas on that team. Even people that I'm cool with to this day would be like, oh, this nigga think he gonna be Wayne, or he think he gonna blow up this, that, and the third. We be stretching. Oh, that's the one thing, he gonna be a rapper, da, 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 da. I'm talking about even grown-ass men, coaches. Word 2. Word of my dads. I would be the only person and probably like one other person. I'm like, bro, you got that shit. Like, this is when he was still making, I heard it's gonna rain down. I try to pull it up, but you know, they don't got Spinrilla no more. So they took it down. But it ain't on YouTube. Like the Let Nas Down thing, when y'all didn't even know, not Let Nas Down. Cole did Let Nas Down. Toosii did Let Cole Down. Like that whole situation. Y'all don't even know from his first mixtape how he pulled up to, Cole used to hoop at his park. Once I moved out of Cobblestone, so paint the picture. Top of Pines is here, the church is here, Charleston Park. You ride through Charleston Park neighborhood, you get to that new neighborhood on that backside. We end up, you know, once time moved on, we end up moving into that new neighborhood on that backside. My house was right here. There was a house in front of mine, and then there was a path with rocks, and you can see Marsh Creek Community Center. J. Cole used to come hoop at this community center. Everybody know it. Toosii ended up pulling up one day and giving him that demo. Like, I'm saying these things because I was around those beginning stages, and I was around when, you know, nobody believed. And it's the same thing. It's the same thing with a lot of stuff. And I really that's why I don't play about certain people when in this industry, because when you're around these people, you know what they work for and how hard they worked, bro. All of that outside noise and let me just get something for content or for a comment, when you can really chop it up with these people, because at the end of the day, they just like you. Their bank account may say something else, but they got the same problems. They dealing with the same shit at home that you're dealing with. You know, money, it don't change everything. So when it comes to that, you know, I'm very protective of these people. And, you know, Toosii is one of the many that I would respect, you know, and get up on here regardless and not let nobody bad talk them, no matter how much time has passed, no matter when the last time we chit-chatted or, you know, when the last time we talked. Like, I know a lot of people are like, oh, well, you know, Toosii's supposed to come on your podcast that you had with Beyond the Fences. Why are you defending him now? Or, you know, this, that, and the third. I would be playing his music and posting. I would get comments from people we went to high school with. Why you only listen to this and this, that, and the third? Because he hard as fuck. And let's go back to the Beyond the Fences thing. I pulled the plug on the Beyond the Fences thing. I set the shit up and I pulled the plug on it as well. And I told y'all that. I said that shit sitting up in the streets, 94.5 radio station. I said that shit. I was sitting right there doing the morning show and I told y'all. I pulled the plug because it was not a good time. Toosii was in the hype of his album coming out, his self-titled album, Not Jor. And I'm trying to get him on my show for free with my motherfucking 100 subs. What is that going to benefit for him? These people get paid or not even paid. They it's a give and a take again. Going back to that, when you go to these outlets, he would have done it, but the timing has to be right. You just promote an album. Then it was discrepancies with my co-host at the time. Again, another situation where y'all was only seeing what I was putting out. Like I'm putting out these backhanded B-rolls on my YouTube. That's on my YouTube. When we be having these just disagreements, you can see the minor things and the differences of how people think and how people actually want to know how business should be handled. Is that bad? No, it shows the diversity and it shows how everybody's not on the same thinking level or maturity level when it comes to handling business. But I just want to say, bro, going to somebody old neighborhood to further your point that you've been talking shit for over a week about is kind of whack. And I know this shit happened 6 days ago. I'm just getting caught up to it because I'm not on social media. I've already told y'all that I'm not active on social media as I used to be. For the purposes of me reporting the news and reporting the media and having to work in the media field, I have to be up to date on certain things. But things like that, like a local story with an up and coming artist being promoted, I wouldn't have saw it unless half of my followers, well, I'm gonna say half, 3 or 4 of my followers had done commented on it and left an opinion. So I guess it put it in my algorithm and I just happened to come across it. I'm glad I did, bro, because I was going to do some left field shit until I went to the page and saw that Toosii and linked up with him. So at that point, that's on Two to get out what he needed to say. But other than that, man, I just want to say thanks for tuning in to another episode of Gotti Corners. It's been a great show. I'll be back in a couple days and probably tomorrow. So you know what it is, it's your boy Gotti. We are. I gotta stop saying we. I gotta say I'm out. But did y'all like the thing at the beginning? The little, woo, 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 woo. It's like an idea that I took from the Kid Gotti show that I saw production was working on. Production sound large. That I saw my videographer working on. And I was like, oh, I can kind of do something similar because I posted my TikTok. I was going to do my TikToks before the video started, but I don't like how, we go from landscape to portrait and this, that, and the third. And, it don't be filling the screen when you're doing that. So I wanted to do something that, fits the video and is all cohesive. So did y'all like that? But anyway, man, like this video, comment on this video, subscribe to your boy Gotti Station. Yeah, man. And y'all already know the drill. Tell her, brother, I ain't gonna say that. Can't say that. I'm working on the outro, man. I'm working on the outro. We working on it as we speak. Y'all see this is live. Like, this is the real deal. Cut corner. This is the outro. I'm trying to get it, but we working on it. So until the next video, I'm out.